It has been a minute.
It has been a while, y'all.
It has been a minute. We got a new year.
New
Same
facilities.
God. Same God.
Same God. Same God.
New facilities. Pretty nice setup up in here. All that good stuff. And we got a beautiful table.
Heck
that somebody at this table made. Thank you, Pastor.
Somebody donated
I don't want to take no credit for it, but because it wasn't me.
It was little Uncle Fester here.
Yeah, got a couple of them. But no, we're excited to see everybody back. Excited to be back on and kind of going down some of these trails that we're about to go down. Some of these rabbit holes that we're about to start going down. But
rabbit holes.
This is Prison Mike.
Prison Mike,
So
the mascot.
he's gonna be on here for a little while.
Yes.
He's our newest man. This newest addition.
he's seen the Dementors.
Yeah, if you guys can't see, just so you know, he has a tinfoil hat on with the real deal rabbit ears.
Yes, sir.
In case you want to know.
Tinfoil hats.
That's right.
What a joke.
Speaking of which,
You guys might be wondering why some of us is wearing stuff on our heads.
that's
Yeah,
right.
you know,
and
it
other
just
ones ain't.
That's right.
Well, you'll kind of see as we go a little bit deeper into this.
that's right. That's right.
Well, see, I can't wear a tinfoil hat because my lack of hair creates a electromagnetic. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No.
He walks around just shocking people.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I actually put this hat on a wet and stormy day, so I was kind of hoping between my house and here that I didn't get a streak of lightning to the dome.
Nice.
But no.
Get
How's y'all's New Year? How's y'all's New Year's go coming in? And how's y'all's year going starting off?
Go ahead, Charlie.
Mine's been super busy out there at the old plantation life. But it's been a blessing. God's opened up a lot of doors and kind of kicked my butt to go through them. So that's been a blessing. Other than that, I've been doing good. What about you?
Oh, it's been crazy. We've been running nonstop since the new year kicked off. We had the women's conference.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that was
and
phenomenal.
man, it was amazing.
Yes, it was.
And we got to do all that kind of stuff. We got to decorate for it and all that good mess. And then we turned around and finally get a week off. We get back to the house, and my wife tells me, "Hey, what you got going on Saturday?" I said, "Nothing. I want to just chill out. I don't want to do nothing. I want to just sit and be calm." This was Friday night. Well, Saturday morning, I wake up to her ripping up our kitchen floor. So, and I'm just sitting here. I can't catch a break. So,
If I start the project,
yeah,
he'll finish
that's
it.
exactly what she said too. That's exactly what she said.
My wife does the exact same thing.
No.
Start the project and then gives up and has me finish it.
Yeah, and then she's like, I just don't know how to do this. Or, how do you use this saw? Or no,
Yeah.
you ain't using no saws. You need to stay away from that.
You knew what you were doing to begin with. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I know. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited about this one. These ain't really what we normally do. I'll say it that way. Some of the stuff that we're about to do in the next couple of weeks is a new series that we're doing. It's called Down the Rabbit Hole.
Down the rabbit hole.
Down the rabbit
where,
hole.
if you might be able to tell our background here, Pastor Josh has some conspiracies.
He
as
did.
you might have seen in our promo. No, we've got some conspiracies and stuff like that we wanted to kind of look into and actually tied into how Christianity sees things.
That's
too.
right.
That's right.
Because you know as well as I do, these conspiracies, some of them are real.
Some of them are
dead
real.
on. So we definitely want to dive into it. Now, there's going to be some that are going to go kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some that we don't agree with.
That's
There's going
right.
to be some that
That's
we
right.
do agree with.
That's right.
And also keep in mind, through some of the upcoming topics that we'll touch, this isn't the only generation where we see conspiracy theories.
That's right.
You can actually
right.
look into historical events that happened in the Bible.
Yeah.
And these people built the conspiracy to gain kingdoms
They
and gain kingship to the point of assassinations.
They
To the
did.
point, all the stuff is so. To be a conspiracy theorist isn't that far fetched
No,
because it's not something new. It's something that's been around for a long time, and people conspire to have what they want, and there's just wisdom in other people that sees the theory that this could have happened, and so don't always look away from the tinfoil hat.
Yeah, and by definition, conspiracy is something that can't be proven 100%. It's something that you can maybe see the patterns of something surrounding an event, but you can't necessarily prove it 100%.
Yeah.
Because then it wouldn't be a conspiracy.
That's
You
right,
know,
be fact.
It's done in the dark.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
done in secret. So,
Oh,
yeah, we got
You
a
want
new
to throw that graphic up for us?
conspiracy
Something
down.
fell.
Conspiracy
See what
down.
I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
What
The enemy hates us.
What
But as y'all
just
can
happened?
see that going down the rabbit hole, got the secret society up there.
Oh, yeah.
The all seeing eye.
Y'all, we are not part of the Illuminati. I promise you.
Maybe. No.
That's right.
Own one.
You better believe it. You better got brother Josh over there with the 10-4 hat on. So if you guys see this graphic out there in Facebook world or YouTube land or the TikTok frontier, you know it's from us, and y'all can join us down the rabbit hole.
That's right. And look into it for yourself. Absolutely. I mean, don't just take our word for it.
Do
Look into
not.
some of this stuff for yourself and just see, hey, man, is there something there? Because everything we're saying, we're not technically saying that this did or didn't happen. Like Charlie said, it's a conspiracy. It's the possibility to just examine for and see what you come to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, getting into the first clip, though, we're going to be talking about The Secret of Nim. And
Yep.
this movie was actually made back in 1982, and it's based off of a movie or a book. And the whole story comes about a mouse was seeking more intelligent mice, or rats, whatever you want to call them, to help find her son or something like that. So let's watch that beautiful bean footage.
Roll the
Roll that
bean
bit of
footage.
And yes, please pay attention to our disclaimer.
Yes.
Aurora and Don Bluth Productions present a classic adventure in motion picture entertainment. I must tell you about Nim. Look there.
Alrighty. So that's it right there.
Oh, yeah.
So that obviously didn't give us a whole lot of info. But
Whatsoever.
why that's significant, though, is that NIM, that NIMH, is actually, it stands for the National Institute of Mental Health. So this guy, Don Bluth, who's famous for making All Dogs Go to Heaven and American Tail and a couple of other a couple of other kids cartoons that were really well animated and money makers. He made this movie called The Secret of Nim, and it's weird though because he based it on a certain experiment that happened in the 60s at the National Institute of Mental Health. So that it's a weird subject matter to make a kid's movie
off
about,
of, yeah.
So it seems like maybe he had an ulterior motive or something. I don't know. What do y'all think about that clip though?
I think I knew that guy. The one with the big mustache.
Oh, yeah,
I think
yeah.
I met him before.
Splinter?
Yes.
You know what?
Wasn't an Ninja Turtle,
Yeah,
man.
he got 4 little kids somewhere.
That looked like Splinter mixed with Sam Elliott.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
That's right.
You gotta love the robes. Though.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Yes, indeed.
But no, yeah, he did. There was some. You could possibly see some evil
yeah.
stuff in there with
Yes.
the glowing eyes,
Yes.
the little wizard stash and beard,
Yeah.
and
I'll tell you guys, I actually watched this movie when I was a kid, and it freaked me out because that's like a tamer scene from the movie. Like it gets pretty graphic,
dark,
yeah,
yeah.
for
Yeah.
a kids movie. I mean,
and this
you
is
got-
the '80s.
Yeah, you got rats like
There
killing each
wasn't no
other.
holding back in the 80s.
No, there was no holding back in the 80s. So it freaked me out as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. And that dude with the glowing eyes was one of the
Part of it.
the nightmare fuel guys, in there. So what this movie touched on, that experiment in the 60s, was actually called Universe 25. And this scientist guy, he decided, his name was Dr. Calhoun, he decided that he wanted to see how if rat society could kind of relate and correlate with human society. Because, we do experimentation as much as none of us really like it. We do experimentation on rats all the time as far as a society. Usually physical experiments to see how a rat will respond to a certain
That's
drug
right.
or whatever. And, it's kind of bad and at the same time, I understand why it's needed because we don't want to do it on a human. You know, we don't want to do human experimentation. Although that might be a down the rabbit hole topic later on if that happens. But anyway, so what he done is he basically created these conditions for these rats who were in great shape, you know, tip-top shape, to see what would happen if they were put into a society, an enclosure where everything was provided for them. Like, so it was basically paradise.
It was a utopia
Yeah.
for these mice.
That's right.
So we have a clip to share with you guys, so you know they can explain a little better in the clip. It's just a short version. Y'all check it out, and we'll be back.
To what you see and hear, you must swear absolute secrecy.
Cannibalism, asexuality, and violence. A society that had collapsed. What's going on here? In 1972, John B. Calhoun detailed the specifications of a utopia designed for mice, built in the laboratory. Every aspect of Universe 25, as this particular model was called, was designed to cater for the well-being of its rodent residents, increase their lifespan, and allow them to mate. There was abundant food, water, and nesting material. The universe was cleaned regularly. There were no predators. The temperature stable. Paradise. Or maybe not.
Heck yeah, man.
Pretty much these guys, these little mice had little neighborhoods.
Yes.
They had little city. I mean, it was just a giant city that they were all in, and everything that they wanted, everything they needed was taken care of. They had food, they had water, they were being cleaned up after,
Yes.
they were being taken care of, and they had no responsibilities whatsoever.
That's right.
Paradise.
Paradise.
And it was spacious too. Whenever I read up on this experiment, what Dr. Calhoun done was he got 4 pair of perfectly healthy specimens of rats that were breeding. You know, they were mates. So he got these 4 pair of mates. They were perfectly in tip-top shape. And they were really intelligent rats too.
Yeah.
These were like the best of his little rat colony. So he put them in this big, spacious enclosure. I think it was roughly around 20 foot or so in circumference.
Wow.
And you know, maybe I think the walls were like 5, 6 feet high. And they had all these little boxes for the rats to nest in. They had all these little ladders
Little
and
apartment
stuff.
complexes.
Yeah, apartment
Yeah.
complexes, ladders, and places to explore in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, stuff rats like to do anyway. And again, they provided all the food, all the water, little treats here and there, you know, all that good stuff. And so that population of 4 mating pair, of course, it exploded. And everything was awesome. You know, they had begun to develop this little rat society. But then,
Well, I do want to say this too, real quick. I know a lot of people are probably like, "What does this got to do with Christianity?" Wait,
Just
I
wait.
promise you, it's
Just
coming.
Stay with us. And,
that's right, stay with us.
and so when you look at this, you know, you see a paradise, that utopia. I mean, everything was laid out for them, no responsibility, all that. I mean, the whole goal was to put them in there, let them continue to multiply, let them continue to live, let them continue to survive. But things began to take a difficult turn, and what was once paradise turns into basically like a hell. And,
Yes.
and so
Yes.
we got another clip for you here. So let's check it out.
4 pairs of disease-free mice selected from the National Institute of Health's elite breeding colony moved in on day 1. It took months for the rodents to familiarize themselves with their new world. Then they started to reproduce, and the population increased exponentially, doubling every 55 days. Those were the good times in paradise. Past day 315, more than 600 mice now lived in Universe 25,
My goodness.
rubbing shoulders on their way up and down the stairwells to eat,
jerky-fied.
drink, and sleep. Population growth slowed.
Crowded.
It's getting crowded.
Young ones found themselves born into a world with far more mice than meaningful social roles. Males faced a lot of competitors to defend their territory against. Many found that so stressful they gave up. normal discourse within the community broke down, and with it the ability of mice to form social bonds. Lone females retreated to isolated nesting boxes on penthouse levels. Other males, a group Calhoun termed the beautiful ones, never sought sex and never fought. They just ate, slept, and groomed, wrapped in narcissistic introspection.
In their mom's basement.
Elsewhere, cannibalism, asexuality, and violence became endemic. Mouse society had collapsed.
All right.
So you have Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost.
I was about to say, in Universe 25, you literally had every physical need was met. Anything they wanted was met. They didn't have to worry about purpose. They didn't have to worry about the struggles, the responsibilities. None of it. It was all taken care of, and they had this beautiful society. And then all of a sudden, it starts getting overpopulated.
Sin.
And it took time.
Yeah.
It didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, it didn't.
I mean, it started out, it said, 315 days.
Well, think
They had multiplied so much in there.
55 days was a generation, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
said it would double again.
Yeah.
So you've got, what, 4 or 5 generations
Yeah.
that took place.
Yeah. And so you think about that. I mean, you're on your 6th generation, going into your 7th generation, and these mice are multiplying and they're getting tight in there. And now, what used to be so easy to have companionship.
Unto the 7th generation.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Woo!
There you go. Starting to get some biblical stuff.
My hair just stood up. Wow.
And so, you look at it, and it's like, man, that they went from having everything handed to them to now feeling like they had to fight for what they wanted and needed, even though it was still there.
Yeah.
There's a different mindset, a different culture began to develop, and it was, to the point they quit breeding.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
they quit breeding
Yes.
and started dying off. and,
Yes.
it's it's crazy to see that you look at our life, and 315 days is a short
Yeah.
span.
Yeah.
But even if you take their years and their generations and put them, 7 generations isn't that long. I remember hearing stories passed down to me that don't seem that long ago, and each generation seems to fly by. So you thinking, we're only 7 generations away from some craziness, or maybe.
That's right.
And so it's like that time span that started out so smooth and like paradise, like I said, it basically gets turned into hell. And there is biblical cases where where it's specifically like talking about nations that do not serve the Lord shall be turned into hell.
That's right.
And so
That's right.
what starts out as a paradise could turn into a hell real quick.
That's exactly right.
If the supplier isn't allowed to stay there, and so it's like you see these guys fighting over nonsense stuff. I mean, these rats are fighting over there's hundreds and hundreds of rats by now, and the video, Dr. Calhoun said that he noticed that they started fighting for territory. And then the ones that didn't have to fight didn't even seek companionship. They kind of stayed up to their own self and
Yes.
in their mom's basement, like you
It kind of
said.
makes me laugh because
In the mom's basement.
there was no purpose in their life then.
That's it.
They had everything they wanted. The only purpose they had now is to breed and to my territory.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then the breeding, you don't need to breed anymore because you've got hundreds and hundreds. And now territories, you're fighting every time you turn around. You're fighting somebody brand new because they're all wanting the territory.
That's right.
That's right.
So then it even says they gave up. They just stopped. I don't even care anymore. And so, it really kind of sticks to me that, when we don't have purpose, when we don't have that design, God-given direction, we can have all the abundance in the world, but it'll decay if
Yep.
we don't watch it.
That's right.
One thing that speaks to me, I'm fidgeting with jump. Here's a very true statement, but it's one we don't really like to consider a lot. But struggle brings strength.
Yes, sir.
You have to struggle in order to get stronger.
Oh, man.
And in Universe 25, they eliminated the need. They eliminated struggle.
Yeah.
Every need was provided, and if you go and study that experiment, you find out like the water and food, even though the population grew, they just compensated. The scientists just added more water and food. You know, they never, like, it was not, there was no need for the rats to fight over the things they needed. Something within them just twisted and perverted, and it was because, like you mentioned, there was no purpose. They had no purpose. They had no direction.
No responsibility.
No responsibility, and there was no struggle.
Yeah.
So in essence, they began to create their own struggle. And if you look at that, consider that, and then look at the big cities that we as humans live in, it's not very different.
No, it ain't.
It's not very different at all. There's a lot of similarities between, say, a New York City or a Chicago and Universe 25.
Yeah.
And you know, it looking at this whole situation, how it unfolds for them. So the initial rats that were used were picked out by the scientists and placed in there, you know, without disease, without anything. So it was uninfected. But those new rats that began to be birthed were being born into an area. These other ones came from, you know, a cage of struggle, maybe.
They understood.
And they understood, but it's like the more they reproduce, the less appreciative. So these rats, you know, it kind of paints a picture in the human sense that we produce a generation that doesn't know Joseph, you know.
Man.
And now we go from being hierarchy in Egypt to being slaves in Egypt.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, there's an old saying: strong men make mediocre men, and mediocre men make weak men.
That's right.
and weak men make strong men.
That's right.
It's a cycle.
It's the exact same cycle. Oh my gosh!
Break the cycle.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what just hit me? Holy moly. Holy moly.
Did that thing hit you?
No. it's rat trap, yeah.
He got caught in the rat trap.
The 4 pair, that's 8,
Yeah.
that started this society and it got corrupted, looks like to me the 8 people that come off of the ark.
Oh man.
Noah.
Yes, Noah and his family and everything was good, but then it got twisted to the point that when Abraham, who was like Noah's great-great-grandson or whatever, when he comes on the scene, society is gone, whacked out. They're murdering their children, sacrificing them to demons, they're cannibalizing folks. I mean, Abraham lived in a society of Ur, which was Babylon.
Yeah.
It was a whacked out place. So in just those couple of generations, from Noah and those 8 people to Abraham, and all the people that were born in Abraham's generation, they didn't know about the Yahweh as much as Noah and them. They didn't know about this truth and this true freedom in serving God, so they served these demons.
Yep.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well, and it also goes into the whole, like, the biblical side of this. One of the things that I always think about is stewardship.
Yes.
Because stewardship is a purpose. There's purpose in stewardship. And it also makes me remember the verse Genesis 1:28. You know, it goes into people are given stewardship.
Yes.
And then it goes into 2 Thessalonians, I think it's 3:10, where it even talks about idleness and how it's warned against not being an idle person. And that's where Universe 25, they show no work, no responsibilities.
Whoa.
Then you see the parent structure break down.
That's right.
The family structure is completely trashed.
That's right.
There is no more moms being affectionate. Now it's bye. Like, I just had you. Ooh, wow, let's go.
Yeah.
And it's scary because when you look at the world today, it is so close to that in
It's
a
right
lot
there
of
at it.
aspects.
That's right there at it.
But I will also say the whole understanding as a Christian, we believe that stewardship is a part of our purpose. We fully believe that we don't need to be idle in what we do. We need to be continuously moving and growing. We are designed to be that way.
Yes.
And when that design is taken and removed from us, we become a hollow shell, an empty hole half the time. And then we allow anything to enter in.
That's
and
right.
That's the scary parts.
That's right. And I would also even be careful to say too is in that concept of, you know, if that pricks your heart and you know you say like, hey, I need to get busy, I need to do. be careful because one of the tools the enemy
Oh,
uses
yeah.
is busyness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a difference
Yes.
between
That's true.
being still in the Lord and being idle.
That's right.
See, sometimes you can't just run out and do all ministry for all people. Sometimes
no.
even Christ himself separated from the
You have
disciples to
know
go and
when
pray.
to say no.
Yes,
You got to know when to fold them.
You gotta have
and you got to know when to hold them.
Kenny Rogers. That's who that was.
God rest his soul.
He's preaching.
God rest his soul.
You got to learn to minister and know sometimes.
Absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
I know
But
it's not always fun, but yeah.
That's right.
the ministry of no out of laziness is idleness.
That's right.
But
Yes.
the ministry of no to draw closer to Yahweh is important.
Yes.
And so, like I said, separating the idleness from busyness to stewardess, knowing what is what. And so being a steward, a good steward of the things God has given you, and the Word of God is one of the most important things He's given us.
Yes.
How do you
Yes, it
steward the Word of God? How
Yes.
do you handle the Word of God? How do you take the Word of God? How do you share the Word of God? And so, again, I believe these are tools that, like Ryan was saying, that if we don't use them, we end up like these rats. And it's crazy that we can look at society in human nature and see such a mirror between a society of rats.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's
I mean, I feel like I'm like Master Splinter over here, you know.
That's
just,
right.
Just growing
That's
Ninja Turtles
right.
for a living.
That's right.
So it is crazy. It's kind of embarrassing that with us being as
Intelligent.
significant, intelligent. I mean, we can
Sophisticated.
we can push buttons on this phone and find out what's going on in China in 10 seconds.
Yep.
And
We can create the phone.
we can create the
Yeah.
phone that does that, yeah. And then we can go to the moon. Or can we? Rabbit hole.
Or can we?
Rabbit hole.
That's right. Stay tuned for more.
But
the truth.
I
No, we can't say that.
I don't think it's a coincidence going back to the secret of NIM, the National Institute of Mental Health.
Oh, definitely.
That's exactly right.
This we're going to introduce our kids to the National Institute of Mental Health.
Yep.
And we're going to begin to unfold in 1982. Like
Yes.
this wouldn't surprise me in 2025.
No.
But in 1982, I mean, there was a lot more God in the home.
Yes.
There was a lot
Yes.
more, Bible studies. There was a lot more, like you better not cross this line. You better not go to this type of sin. What?
There was belts used in houses.
Absolutely, yeah. There was discipline
Yeah.
and discipline for disciples, and so. But like I said, this was in the 1980s, and it's based off of an experiment that happened 20 years earlier.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Where these rats, their society fell apart, and they gave up what was natural.
25 times, by the way. That's why it's called Universe 25.
Yeah.
Dr. Calhoun
Yeah, it wasn't
did this
one-
thing.
yeah, it wasn't one event.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did it 25
And the same
times to
result.
make sure, okay, I keep getting the same result. And finally at Universe 25, he's like,
Okay, bro.
this is it.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
And if you go look
Yeah.
for this for yourself, you'll see that these rats lost their natural affection to
Yep.
multiply. They lost their natural
Love
affection
for one another.
to have that camaraderie. And then the Bible says in the last days, we as a people lose our love for one another. Our
Yes.
love
They
waxes
become
cold.
lovers of themselves.
That we become
Yes.
lovers of ourselves and not of God, and that we lose our natural affection, our
That's
natural
right.
use of the woman, and the woman loses her natural use for
Boy,
the
you're
man.
getting into it now.
And so
He's
we're running around a
segueing-
cage.
He's segueing right into the next part.
That
I was
man's
about to bring
cooking
up.
over here.
I mean, like, for real, I don't even know if he knew I was going to go into that, but the beautiful ones
Yes.
that is talked about in Universe 25,
Yes.
they're the ones that withdrew from society,
Yep.
and they were like, we're too good for this.
Yep.
And they pulled away from it all, and they avoided reproduction, they avoided community, they didn't want nothing to do with anybody else,
Yep.
and they were focused
celibate
on...
priest.
We about to get in trouble.
Just touch it.
Listen,
Rabbit hole.
not one of us are suicidal, by the way. I want to make
That's
sure
right.
that's fair. And
That's right.
None of us are
That's right. I
suicidal.
love my life.
Yeah, I don't want to hang myself, none of that stuff.
I was given medicine, but I didn't take it.
That might be what's wrong. Go ahead and smoke that pen again.
Dear Lord in heaven.
That's right.
But the beautiful ones, they mainly focused on themselves. They focused
right.
on their own self-maintenance and all that kind of stuff. And they removed themselves from everybody else. And that's why it's so funny that you said the lovers of themselves. Man, it's many Christians see this as a warning against the radical self self-centeredness
Yes.
that the world's getting nowadays.
Yep.
Because when we start replacing community and replacing family and replacing love, then that's when we get into this icky gray area, and
Yep.
then all of a sudden now it's all about me. It's
That's right.
self-centered, and I'm removed. I ain't got to come. I ain't got to go to that. I ain't got to do this. I ain't got to do. It's all that self-centeredness, and
That's
that's
right.
the stuff that gets very, very scary. And then usually the demise comes right after that.
That's right.
That's right.
And I think it leads us into the next clip that you
next
have
clip.
for
Yep.
us.
Yeah, roll that beautiful bean footage.
The mice had lost the capacity to rebuild their numbers. Many that could still conceive, such as the beautiful ones and their secluded singleton female counterparts, had lost the social ability to do so. On day 920 was the last conception. The last mouse died on May 23rd, 1973, 4 years and 10 months after colonization. Calhoun later said that the creatures had died 2 deaths. The first was that of their spirit and their society. The second death was that of their physical body.
Wow.
Man, that's crazy.
So that right there speaks to the spirit.
Yeah.
And something very interesting I found when studying this is Dr. Calhoun wasn't a believer. He didn't believe in God. He believed in science.
That's
and
right.
Yet he still felt led to mention the spirit of these little rats. Not that they got some kind of soul or something,
Yeah.
but there was some kind of he recognized even in his scientific mind there was something within these rats that had whacked out,
yeah.
and it couldn't be explained physically. It couldn't really be explained with emotions or anything, because all that stuff was met, but there was something in there.
They just like the will.
Yeah. The will to survive.
You think about the word spirit in the Bible, like for instance in Numbers, where it talks about Joshua and Caleb was able to go to the promised land because they had a different spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily, it's not literally talking about like an angelic being
Yes,
or something.
that's right.
It was talking about their mindset.
That's right.
And so I believe what Dr. Calhoun is recognizing here, but being that he's a non-believer, is that he's realizing that even those mouses have a train of thinking
Yeah.
and,
That's
and-
right.
and a way of doing things, and they started one way, having all this room and this and what became natural for them began to change as each generation continued to grow and continue to multiply, to the point it got to where all these mouse, and there's one conception after 900 days, and then the last mouse dies, 4 years and 10 months later, wiping out this
The
whole
entire
Yes.
race.
Yep.
colony
It
of
died.
mouse. And then he started this over and done this 25 times. This is a
25
life
times.
experience
Yes.
of
Yes.
putting this stuff together and getting the same result. And it shows, though, just like we've seen so many parallels from human nature to these mice, that before we go insane and crazy like that, something has to die within us first. Our spirit has to die first.
Yep.
We give our thinking over to whatever. Maybe we've been hurt. Maybe we've been, we feel like, nothing's good for us. Maybe we've lost too much. Whatever. It's something in us begins to die, which causes us to change. Similar like to what these mice were doing. Like something changed in them, and then they started physically dying.
Yeah.
But something
Yeah.
died before their physical death ever happened. And we know that there is a spiritual death, and there's going to come a day where there's that there will be a second death. We
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
And that's not talking about the physical death, but I believe that even as a person, I don't think nobody in this world is born crazy. I don't think nobody in this world is born with psycho tendencies to just become a serial killer. Something dies in them
Something dies.
and causes them to go haywire.
You're getting kind of crazy now, going into the Freud stuff, nature versus nurture
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
mentality. But I mean, honestly, look at this experiment by itself. It even speaks into the nature versus nurture,
Yeah.
because the nature of things that was going on, but it's also the nurture of the things, because when society broke down, when families stopped being families, when those responsibilities stopped taking place, everything decayed. Everything started dying. And I think as a Christian, this is a warning to us about morals and about relationships, that we need to have them. because when we don't have them, when we stop allowing our morals to direct us, and when we stop allowing relationships, and this even includes the relationship that we have with the Father, when we stop allowing that to lead us, I think honestly something dies in us, and that's when the beautiful people show up. I think this self-centeredness mentality pops up, but that's when our society is going to die.
Yeah.
And I say society, I mean even our race would completely be wiped out.
Yeah.
Am I saying that's what's happening now? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying life
saying
without God,
that.
life
Yeah.
without
It is.
God-given purpose is trash.
It is.
There's no sense in it.
That's right.
You know, to speak on the nature versus nurture aspect of it, as most atheists and non-believers, the boxing gloves are off. No, I'm kidding. But the majority of folks that don't believe in the spiritual aspect of life, they would say that, nature would typically try to veer towards improvement.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole theory of evolution.
Yeah.
We'd
We'd evolve to the next
yeah,
thing.
we evolve into something greater. And then they throw in the nurture, that you can nurture something into something
A
else.
certain relationship,
yeah, into a certain relationship. But Universe 25 kind of spins all that and flips it on its head,
It does.
because one, as far as the nurture, even though the rats ended up not nurturing each other, they actually started cannibalizing
Yeah.
each other and committing all kind of
They started
horrible,
eating the babies,
yes,
everything, yeah.
all kind of junk. The same stuff we see in our society nowadays was there.
I think it blows my mind so much. They were being fed.
Well, that's the thing.
They were given.
They
all
were
this
being
stuff.
nurtured as far as from a provisional
Yeah.
aspect. They were
wasn't
being
enough.
nurtured, but the nature took over, because in reality, all of creation is tainted with sin.
Yes.
Our
We're born
nature.
into it.
It doesn't matter if it's a rat, a flower, a mosquito, whatever. Us, we all have this taint of sin. So, given enough time and circumstance without a relationship with Christ to be born again, our nature does take over, and our nature is sin.
It was nasty.
And that's what these guys experienced. They had no purpose. They had no reason to exist. So nature took over. And it makes me think of this. Like, if we feed our flesh, then our spirit's going to die.
Right.
And that's all these dudes did. They fed nothing but their flesh, and not realizing. I'm not even saying it was the rats' fault. The rats
Right.
were being rats. Rats are highly intelligent
Nature.
rodents. Yeah, it's nature. But they had nothing to challenge in them.
Yeah.
So they created challenges within their own society. All of a sudden, old Ralphie here turned into Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there was no Hannibal Lecter, and they needed a Hannibal
Yeah.
Lecter, even though they didn't realize it. So now all of a sudden, Ralphie's over there eating the little babies and stuff.
Yeah.
So now there's a monster in there with them. And then all of them became monsters.
That's right.
So with that, though, unless y'all got something else.
Well, I was just going to say
come on.
one of the topics that a lot of people that have, I'm not going to say don't believe, but they struggle to believe. They almost don't want to believe in a God that has the power to save and has all power, but yet he still allows us to go through struggle, and he still allows us to go through. The thing about it is it's proven in this very study here in Universe 25 with rats, but it's the nature, like you just said, from sin, it tarnished us all.
Yes.
So even though we can be saved, our souls can be saved in this life, we can't have that paradise here
Not yet. Not
because
yet.
we still have a sin
It's tainted.
nature. And it's
Yeah,
always
it's
going to
tainted.
turn around. If he provides everything for us, we never struggle. We never have to go through anything. And that's why you see the disciples count it joy when they fall into temptations, when they fall into
That's
diverse
good.
temptations.
That's good.
They count it joy to be slain for Christ's sake
Yeah.
because it is an honor to die for Christ in their
Yes.
eyes, because they know that this life doesn't compare to life to come. The next life to come, well, how can we go to heaven if this experiment? There's no sin in heaven.
That's right.
There's no sin in the kingdom of
It's a
God.
new heaven and in a
So
new
when,
earth.
so this new universe that we're going to, it's not tainted with sin. So
That's
they'll
right.
75 generations down the road, we still won't be cannibalizing.
That's right.
There won't be no
That's right.
flesh.
There won't be
That's
no
right.
flesh.
There'll be
Exactly.
No flesh.
That's it.
right.
No flesh can inherit the kingdom of God. And so it's
Well, that's why the flesh fights so hard now to get you to sin, to get you to
Yes.
these
Yep.
temptations.
It wants
'Cause
to destroy your
well,
spirit.
It knows you. It can't go with you into the next life.
That's right.
So
That's-
it's
that's
trying to
right.
get its fulfillment now.
That's it.
And our spirit's sitting here longing for God, longing for
That's right.
godliness and the morals and responsibilities.
Yes.
So,
But I know we got some, and this may be another rabbit hole for another day too. And I know we got some patriotic people. Listen, I fought for the United States Army.
Yes, sir.
Love my
Yep,
country.
service
Yes,
But
sir.
at the same time, I know that my country ain't perfect.
No.
You know, I know that this America is, but I can tell you, you go back to the beginning, 1700s, when America was founded.
Yeah.
Even though it was already attended,
I know.
it was founded. People already lived here, but we
talk about the
we
president.
founded America.
So I'll talk about the president.
And then
know that's
our forefathers, like I said, this is rabbit hole for another day. We was raised on Christian attributes is what we all say. But I will say, no matter what, America was a lot more disciplined, a lot better, cleaner
was.
country.
It was.
in its beginning state to where it's at today.
Yes, very much
And if
so.
you look at from the start, and this is just 1700. This isn't but a couple hundred years ago.
That's right.
And
That's right.
in just a couple of hundred years, a couple of generations
Yeah.
of people, a handful of generations of people, we have gone to, a cannibalization basically. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to rejoice when someone shoots you in the neck.
Yeah.
If I don't agree with you, I'm going to rejoice when you get shot in your car.
We went
you
from Frederick Douglass to P. Diddy.
Listen,
yeah.
And come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Even our role models.
Yes.
That's the number one thing to me is from from George Washington
Yes.
style all the way to P. Diddy.
Yes.
It's like, bro, who
What
are we looking
the
up to?
world?
Yeah.
We got little girls out here looking at Taylor Swift for relationship advice.
Yep.
That girl can't keep a man. What you talking
Yeah,
about?
for real, bro.
But-
Oh, you just made some
I know.
Swifties mad.
I was
dude.
gonna say we just got a bunch
They
of
are about
right
to.
in.
They are about to.
Oh, she's engaged now. Sorry.
Okay.
We'll see how it works.
Yeah, we'll see.
Wait till the new album comes out.
I'm not going to get too far in that. I will say the P. Diddy case ought to prove to you that the engagement ring don't matter.
That's right.
But
Also stand behind the pulpit. Don't
yeah.
matter either.
But if the reason we bring that up is not to pick on. I mean, all of them, the Lord loves their soul, and if they was willing to give it to the Lord, I mean, you get. But I do feel like also the kingdom of darkness is at work within Hollywood and singers, so they're gonna have to kill one guy to get to the good one. But
That's right.
But anyhow, the whole point is that darkness is continuously spreading. And you can look at it from a nation standpoint to where we're at today, where everybody mourned the day that 9/11 happened. Everybody mourned, even though there was some secretive stuff going on when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. Both sides were mourning about
Yep.
it. But then we're in a time now where if a Republican guy gets shot, the other side rejoices and has parties and throws up funny signs, and then a couple months later, somebody from the other side gets shot, and then the other side is repaying them. I'm gonna give you. We live in a world where we're gonna fight for this territory, but we can't coexist. We can't figure out a way to meet. And again, the love of many in the last days will wax cold.
That's right.
And so, not only on a national standpoint, though, you can look at it on a spiritual standpoint.
Yes.
The church, the Big C church, the entirety of church that we see it in the world today it's not all the ecclesia. It's not all the body of Christ. But there's a lot of hirelings that have tacked the church's name to it and have created movements. And this isn't new either. It's just hidden better. I mean, like I said, we had our service this morning. I brought up 2 instances, of Waco, Texas, and the whole drinking the Kool-Aid thing, and all this stuff. These were churches.
That's right.
And those are just bizarre, absurd. I'm telling you, it's a lot more
It's
common. I
easy
mean,
to-
you've got mega pastors getting busted daily.
Well, Jim Jones was famous.
Yes.
And before Jonestown, that guy was on the national news. People on the left
Oh, yeah.
and on the right loved that guy.
He was a smooth talker.
He was a smooth talker. He
knew-
was bringing the races together. He was doing all kinds of stuff in the name of Jesus.
That's right.
And you see how it turned
Exactly
out.
how it
You
happened.
see how it turned out.
Well, I think Matthew 12:25 tells you everything you need to know.
Yep.
That's right.
Every kingdom divided against itself
We're not-
is brought to destruction.
That's right.
So,
All right, so our last little thing is not a clip. It's a slide with a quote from Dr. Calhoun, who again was not a believer. Brother Josh, you wanna read that quote, man?
Absolutely.
hard. There you
Yeah, in the highlighted portion there, I shall largely speak of mice, but my thoughts are on man, on healing, on life, and on its evolution. Threatening life and evolution are the two deaths, death of the spirit and death of the body. Evolution, in terms of ancient wisdom, is the acquisition of access to the tree of life.
You keep reading.
All right. So continue reading there. It says, this takes us back to the white first horse of the apocalypse. Now, remember, this is being said by
Yes.
a man that's
Yeah.
not
Who does not
a
believe.
believer. But this takes us back to the white horse of the apocalypse, which with its rider set out to conquer the forces that threaten the spirit with death. Further in Revelation, we note, to him who conquers, I will grant to eat the tree of life, which is in the paradise of God. And further on, the leaves of the tree were for the healing of nations.
You stop right there.
All right.
So in that quote,
We'll also look to the picture. That's the community.
That's the
Yeah.
community.
That's the
Yes,
community.
that community. Right. That's Dr. Calhoun. That's
Yeah.
the actual. In fact,
Look at all that water.
if you guys that photo was actually in black and white, and I just colorized it
Yeah.
because you couldn't really see it real good. But that was the 1960s. You can see the 60s T-shirt thing he's wearing there.
Yeah.
But that's the actual Dr. Calhoun, and that
Got a
is
shirt just like that.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Well, yeah, that was actually Universe 25 right there.
that's crazy.
That's what it looked
Yeah.
like. See the bottles of water up top.
Yeah.
I mean, there was and
you see
that's
the
only one
holes.
part.
You see the holes in the wall.
Yes.
That's where their
That's
apartments
right.
were.
That's only
Yeah.
one corner of the place.
Yeah.
Like it had all kind of other stuff all around
Man,
it.
that's crazy.
It is crazy.
Tiki torches.
Tiki
Yeah.
torches, you better believe that. They were jamming up in there. So obviously, man, we can make a lot of spiritual connections with Universe 25 and our society nowadays, because the same stuff that was happening in Universe 25 is happening right now in our society. You have generations of people that, just like those rats, the original generation, they were well trained rats. They were well behaved.
They were seasoned.
They were seasoned. They were perfect. Then as generations went on, something started happening little by little. But that little by little started getting bigger and bigger until finally, that 4 year later mark, them dudes were literally eating each other.
Yeah.
They were engaging in unnatural acts. I mean, they were like destroying everything, fighting over nothing.
And their numbers were dwindling in those last months, and there was never a concern in the mice's thoughts saying, "Hey, we're finna extinct ourselves."
That's
Like,
right.
It's almost like greed took over at that
Yeah.
point.
Yes.
Because this is mine now. This is mine now. And
Yes.
I don't want to further this. I want to keep growing.
Bro, that
here.
makes me think, man, those demonic forces out there, and the Bible even mentions it, it alludes to it. Those things not only, we're their prize,
Yes.
of course, but they not only affect us as humans, like they affect and infect even animals.
absolutely.
Even animals.
pigs.
The pigs.
Yep.
They,
Legion.
yes.
It drove them insane.
Yes. So these rats, dude, that is crazy. Those rats like got demonically possessed, sorta, in
That's
some
right.
weird way.
Yeah.
That is crazy, and continually,
Yeah. And it just grew from there.
it just grew from there. Wow.
Makes you wonder about generational. Yeah. Anyway.
Generational curses. Yes.
When you look back at creation too, and if you look at it through the lens of the entire Bible, and you see that there was a holy council present.
Oh,
you know,
man.
they
Yep.
had a part in creation, and then there's a hatred for creation. you know.
Yes.
Just for instance, look, you fast forward a little bit further, and these angelic beings are sent to earth, and they saw that the daughters of men were fair, and they, the earthly side had to say, you had to make a decision. I'm going to try something different. Somewhere along the rats version, they said, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to start eating my brother instead of my bread and cheese.
I wonder what he tastes
Yeah,
like.
I wonder what Uncle Johnny's rotten leg tastes like.
That's right.
We can put some barbecue sauce on that.
But they saw that the daughters of men were fair, and again, just continuously birthing death to the next generations and wickedness, and wickedness is contagious too. It spreads.
Oh, yeah.
It spreads.
It is.
It's like a virus. It just once it's out, you may could get your own spiritual vaccination, but you can't stop the spread of those that aren't protecting themselves. From wickedness. So all you can do is pray and speak the truth and pray that they receive it.
Yeah, Ryan, I see you keep looking at the that quote. I wish we'd have finished that. I didn't even think about the last part of that quote is really the gut punch in Dr. Calhoun's quote, where it talks about the
Pale horse.
Yeah, it talks about the pale horse, the fourth horse.
Power over all,
And it brings its rider's death, and it brings hell with it.
Yep.
And that's what he was alluding to with Universe 25. It started out all nice and awesome with his tree of life,
everything was perfect.
and then it ended
With death.
just like, by the way, the Bible.
Yeah.
It starts out with paradise, and it ends with destruction.
That's exactly right.
Woo-wee! Wow.
It's like I got this imagery in my mind when I think of the Bible. When I think of Genesis, I think like green, blue, colorful.
Yes.
But it's like anytime I look at Revelation, I see red and black.
Red and black.
Go
That
dogs.
is crazy, dude. That is crazy. You just did some weird stuff to my mind right there. Put that tinfoil hat back on.
That's right.
It's starting to affect me.
Yeah.
But as always, guys, we encourage you guys to go look at it, because these are just some spiritual implications that we was able to pull from this.
Yeah.
And go check it out for yourself,
Please.
and shoot us some comments. Shoot us some stuff that sticks out to you, because we're continuously growing. This is stuff we've looked into, but we don't have all the details. Again, conspiracy is something that can't necessarily be proven with tangible evidence. But there's a such thing as sense, believe it or not. And a lot of times when you allow your sense,
Not very common.
I don't know that sense is common anymore. But no. So like I said, hit us up, let us know kind of your thoughts and ideas on the situation, and what are some spiritual implications between these studies and the secret of NIM and things like that. Maybe you see something in scripture right off the bat, or think about something right off the bat. Shoot it to us and let us know what kind of stood out to you.
And I'll even go into we're nowhere near done with the rabbit holes.
No, we're just getting started.
Yep.
We're just now getting started, and we've got a lot of them. And you're going to see some of them coming up soon. You're going to definitely see some of them coming up soon. And honestly, if you got any that you think tie spiritually and all that kind of stuff, definitely send them our way. We'd love to start looking into it, because just like y'all, we're on this adventure together, trying to learn.
That's right.
And trying to grow. So
That's right.
That's right. And y'all be sure to share this video with folks. I mean, the more we can talk about these things, the less mystique they have, and the less power they have. Because I understand that there are some conspiracies that have power over people. They create fear in people. And I know that the more we dig into this stuff and we kind of choose and see what's true and what's not, and what's debunked, and what is legitimate, it takes away some of that power of fear. So you guys feel free to share that, please.
Because also in like the secret of the NIM thing, 1982, like that would probably be a kid's version YouTube channel right now.
Yes.
Like, because of the stuff that we got out there. PG-13 is a lot different than it was when I was a kid.
That's right.
And so
You better believe that.
if this is stuff that you look into and you can see a cycle that the enemy's running, a strategy, and you get that wisdom and information out there, you might realize, might not realize it, but you may help somebody shut a door off to the enemy that's trying to get into a child's minds, or to marriages, churches, ministries, things like that. And so don't be afraid to touch on these hard topics.
That's right.
This past week with the youth, I talked about cycles, because our theme this year is breaking the cycle inside of our church. And one of the things that I made sure to really address was, it's good to be in community and it's good to talk about it.
That's right.
Because when we talk about it, especially the wisdom and knowing these things, even if we're questioning things, it's good to talk about it because then it has no more power. It's taken away. The enemy has no power in the midst of the secret and all that kind of stuff. So the more we talk about it, the more we learn, the better it is. And what's the Bible say? The truth shall set you free.
That's it.
So
That's it.
and truth is who? Exactly.
That's
Yes.
right. It's not a
Truth,
what.
the way,
It's
and the
a who.
life.
It ain't Ryan's truth.
It ain't
It's not
right.
Ross's
Nope.
and Charlie's.
That's right.
It ain't the three not so wise.
That's
men's
right.
truth. It's the Bible.
That's
It's
it.
the
Bible.
holy truth.
Yes.
It's God's truth.
Yes,
You
it.
better believe it.
Yeah, it ain't Oprah's either.
But hey,
It's
like,
conspiracy.
yeah. Something new for you guys that we've all agreed on too as well is so you know
We're
some,
not wearing
Hold on
swimsuits.
now.
We're not doing that.
Well, anytime he starts it out like that, you already know it's gonna be some
We've
crazy
all agreed.
I'm still gonna work on the swimsuits. I'll get in there. But before we get to swimsuits, so we've all decided to be a good idea because we want to get this out there and share, and we want you guys to follow on this journey with us. So some of you may be following us on Facebook, YouTube, or whatever. On YouTube, if you follow us on Facebook and you haven't followed us on YouTube or subscribed to us, please do that.
Yes.
Definitely.
Because when we reach 100 subscribers, we're going to draw the names of our first 100 subscribers,
Yes.
and somebody is going to get a special prize. So continue to follow us on Facebook as well, because that's where a lot of our stuff is shared and information is put out. Maybe something smaller or things like that. But also subscribe to us on YouTube because there's video clips and things like that you may be able to be a part of and see. But like I said, share and help us get to that first 100 subscribers, because once we reach 100 subscribers, we're going to do a drawing with those first 100 subscribers, and somebody's going to get
A pack of tinfoil.
a pack of 10. You're going to get this hat.
That's right. And
Prison Mike is going to
Prison
teach you
Mike.
some skills for
He's got
how to live in
something
the
for
world
you.
after prison.
That's right.
But no,
You'll get a promo pack.
Yeah.
We'll probably have some like a hat in there, some shirts in there,
Yes.
something like that. So.
yep, maybe a swimsuit.
Yeah, maybe a swimsuit. Never been worn. I got to tell you this.
Well, we're going to have to get another one.
Yeah,
I've already won that one.
But yeah, definitely the 100 subscribers on YouTube. I want to make sure that's clear. We
Yes.
got over 100 on Facebook already.
Right.
We want to make sure that we're starting to push YouTube. And the reason is because Facebook, after about 30 days, they start deleting videos.
Yep.
So on YouTube,
They
it's
stay.
archived.
It's our
so
channel.
we're going to start really pushing YouTube as much as possible. So.
Yep.
But definitely still doing Facebook, still
Absolutely.
doing every other. I think we're even about to start a TikTok and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to dance. I'm going to make sure that that's apparent. I am not dancing.
I'll break dance. What's up?
We'll let AI do the dancing for us.
Yes.
Our heads will just be floating. Gosh, that just made me. Anyway, I don't even talk about that.
Well, I guess we're good to close out.
Yeah,
Good on this
yeah.
episode. So, well, you guys definitely make sure to join us as the three not so wise men go down the rabbit hole.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
God bless y'all,
God bless
and
you.
that'll be it.
God bless you.